Today, I'm gonna show you how to install Docker Desktop on your computer. In order to install Docker Desktop on your computer, first you have to download the Docker Desktop app. In order to do that, go into your Chrome or whatever browser it is and type Docker Desktop download. When you click on this first link, it will show you to download based upon my system, it already populated the one which my system has, but you can download whatever you have to download. Either it is for Windows, and right now I'm using Mac, so I have to download either download for Mac applesilicon or download for Mac Intel chip. In order to know which processor your Mac uses, it's very easy process. Click on your Mac, about my Mac, and then if you see here, if you see anything like Apple M1 or above, it's Silicon. And if you see Intel here, it's an Intel processor. Right now, mine is Silicon. So you can use download Mac for Apple Silicon. Once this is downloaded, we have to install that so that we can use our Docker desktop. So let me click on this DMG file, and as soon as you see this, you need to drag and drop the Docker application into your applications. I just did it, and it is copying the Docker to the applications. It is about 1.69 GB. So once that is done, your Docker you can start your Docker application. Yeah, it's here. So you can click on Docker, verifying Docker, and it will start the Docker applications. And you have to click open. Okay, you will be landed in this page. In this page, the Docker desktop will show mainly a containers tab, which shows the running containers of your Docker images, and also the images tab, which will be downloaded from public Docker Hub images, or it can be local, or you can connect to your Docker Hub account. Right now, I don't have any containers or any images, and also the volumes associated with this images and containers. So let me install a Docker image. Once you download the Docker desktop app, it also install the CLI as well in your Mac. So if I go to my terminal, if I enter Docker command and enter, it will show you all the options, which means the Docker is installed on your machine. So from here, either we can install a sample image, you can pull a sample image and start a container of that image from the CLI or from the Docker desktop. First, I will show you how to pull an image and then start it from the Docker desktop app. Let's go back over here. You can see the Docker icon here. Go to the dashboard and then click on the images and click on the containers. Right now, nothing is present here, but if you see here, you can type whatever the images that you need to install or you need to pull. In my case, it's just nginx. And if you see a lot of results as soon as I type nginx, if you hover here, it will say Docker official image, and there is 1 billion plus downloads. So you can, it is a verified Docker official image. So either you can pull and then start, I'll show you that, or directly you can run, which means it will pull and start together. Right now, let me try two options individually. Let's pull the image first. I just click on the pull, and if you see the progress here, pulling nginx latest, and then status downloaded newer image of nginx latest, which is a tag as well. Once you do this, if you click on images, you can see one image here, which is nginx, but it is in stop state. We have to run it. Once we run, it will ask for the options over here, because nginx will run on a port of 80 in the container. You have to mention which port it need to be bind to your local computer. In my case, I am trying 8080 as my local port to bind with the Docker hub, Docker images 80 port, Docker containers 80 port. So click on run. It will show the logs here, and you can also log directly into this image, into the container, running container, and try to do the commands that you want or tasks that you want. So right now our nginx is running, and if you go, because since we start this image, we can click on containers. You see a container with a random name, but we can name it as we intended. Right now I didn't mention any name, so it picked a random name, but the image it is running is nginx latest, and it is listening on port 8080 on your local machine, which means http localhost 8080, which will internally bind the port to containers 80 port, and it is running, which utilizing 0% of CPU, and then ran, which started at 43 seconds ago. In order to test this, we need to go to your browser, click on localhost. Type the URL localhost, and then :8080, which lands us in welcome to nginx page, which means we are able to communicate with our Docker container, which ran with the image nginx. Let me clean this image from the Docker desktop application. Go to the dashboard. In order to do this, first we need to stop here, or you can directly delete here, delete forever, and then you have to delete the image itself. So now I don't have anything here. And if I land to my nginx page and click enter, nothing is loading here because the container is in stop state, and we have deleted the image as well. Let's do the same task from the command line. Let's go to your terminal and enter docker command, which shows a usage of the command, which means docker CLI is installed here. And if you want to see the current images, just type docker images, which we don't have nothing here. And if you see the containers that are running, we have to type docker ps-a, which means you don't have any running containers as well. So we don't have images, we don't have containers. Let's pull an image, which is same nginx that we did from the Docker desktop application, and start it. Let me pull the image first. For that, you need to enter command docker pull nginx, and the tag is latest. So it will try to pull the image from the public, and it is just done now. Now, if we have an image that is stored here. If you type docker images, we'll show nginx is a container that is in our local. So you can verify the same from Docker desktop application itself. If you click on images, you still see the images, just it downloaded here. And right now we have to start the container. Let's go to the terminal, docker run, and you're gonna name it as in my nginx, and you are running it with detached mode. And then you need to mention the port that need to be bind, where we have mentioned 8080 earlier, 8080. This time, let me change the port to 8081 to 80 of the container port, and then just mention the image name. If I run this, it started a container, docker ps-a. Now you can see a container ID, which is which has image nginx, and the name is my nginx as I mentioned here as a name. So it's created just 7 seconds ago, and it's listening on port 8081. If you want to access this or look at in the Docker desktop, click on here, you will see my nginx is present here, which is running on port 8081. And if you see http localhost :8081, let's test this. Go to your browser, hit on 8080, nothing happened. 8081, welcome to nginx page is loaded, which means we are successfully ran a container nginx with an image nginx. That's it for today. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.